Hey, hi friends, I want you to invest smarter and make less mistakes. So in times like this, there are plenty of changes and it's very important to keep ourselves up to date. So I get plenty of messages thanking me for helping them make a better investment decision, especially during a crisis like this. And actually that's my goal. So I just want you to know that if you did it, you take all the credit. All I did is to show you another path. I still remember the days when I bought stocks and when the stock price drops, I panicked like mad. I Google what's wrong and I look at the news and just sat there not knowing what to do. I knew the company fundamentals were right. No, I went through the balance sheet, I calculated the intrinsic value. I did everything that I was supposed to do before investing to a company. And yet, somehow, the stock price never recovered. So, clicking the sell button was really painful, so I just had to hold on. Those were the days. I thought it was like all bad luck. So for the next few companies, I did the same and most were successful, means the stock that I buy went up. But let's say I invest and diversify into 10, 20 companies and all I needed was just one or two to fail and it wiped out my entire portfolio's profit. I'm sure a lot of seasoned investors can understand what I'm trying to say. So those that didn't, it will come. I am not like laughing out sarcasm, I am telling you, you can learn all the theory you want, you cannot fast forward experience. So I hope you understand that I come from the best of heart. So let's look at Warren Buffett's returns versus Cathie Wood's returns. This is ARK Invest performance and Cathie Wood is the portfolio manager here. And so let's compare this with Berkshire Hathaway. So let's click this. Oh my freaking god, the red here is Berkshire. And if you look at this, you see the difference between this and this. So which would you rather be? This is like absolutely nuts and crazy. Now, I shock every one of you. So let's go deeper and understand what the heck happened to the most successful investor in the world. So I just want to say this before I move on. Look, I really respect Warren Buffett a lot. I learn lots from him. I apply what's relevant. So Cathie Wood also does a few things I don't really agree with, but I understand her position as a portfolio manager. Warren Buffett's style of investing is like how he always put it. It's like investing in a farm. It doesn't matter if the price goes up or goes down as long as the farm is generating cash flow. And if one day the neighboring farm drops 50%, he will almost go in and buy the farm. So almost every annual meeting, he will mention farms and farms and farms. It makes total sense in theory. So how does he use this and apply to the stock market? He will kind of like calculate what's the value of this farm and actually put a growth target because they may buy more cows. So there is many such kind of calculation available like discounted cash flow calculator, free cash flow, discounted dividend model, etc. There's too many out there. So again, it all makes sense in theory. So what most people forget is what if somebody comes out a method to produce meat without a farm? The farms are screwed. So ironically, it's actually happening right now with Beyond Meats and Impossible Burger. Anyway, value investing has been around since Benjamin Graham days. And he is known as the father of value investing. He wrote the Intelligent Investor book, I think in 1949. So that's like 1949. Do you know that investing in innovation has been around much longer and proven to be more time-tested? So why do you think during this crisis my portfolio jumped? It looks like ARK Invest portfolio but more. Like what Cathie Wood always liked to say, and I quote her, innovation gained market share at accelerated rate during tumultuous times, like better, faster, cheaper, and more productive. So think about what internal combustion engine did and took over the horse. So this is a picture of Fifth Avenue back in 1900, Fifth Avenue, New York City. So among all this, these were all horses and carriages, and there was one automobile. Let me zoom in. There was one automobile. But in 1913, just 13 years later, the same place, not a single horse left. However, in 1900s, there were a lot of arguments why horses were better, just like the arguments between ICE cars and electric cars. Horses don't catch on fire, cars broke down often, and bringing it to get fixed was like a laughing joke. So less expensive to maintain because the horse eats grass. See, the idea of going to a fuel pump was really a laughing joke to many people. And of course, the fourth one was you didn't need to build roads. Of course, history speaks for itself. So now let's move on from the internal combustion engine to electric. So many years ago, it was a joke. Number one, to fully charge a car, it takes all night. How about driving it for less than 100 miles before it dies? How about the battery cost? It is really expensive. So I want to show you something. So back in 2010, batteries were really expensive and it has came down like more than 10 times. It used to be over $1,000. And now in 2020, okay, they estimate this at 135 per kilowatt hour. But the thing is, I think Tesla is going to be way below 100 kilowatts per hour. Actually, my next video will give you a preview into Battery Investor Day, so watch out for that. So guess what? Tesla long range now goes above 400 miles and nobody drives that far in a single drive anyway. It charges in 20 minutes, it's cheaper than petrol and no servicing. The electric motors have an efficiency of above 90%, while ICE cars have it at 30-40% at best. The value argument is invalid. So here's the kicker. As cars has always been a liability, like in Singapore, a Model X costs like 500,000, a Model 3 costs 300,000. Tesla is the only company working on turning a car into an asset, utilizing full self-driving and vehicle to grid. But I do not want to get into details, I'll save it for another video. You get paid by owning a car. That is like mind-blowing, man. Anyway, before I move on, I really appreciate the early thumbs up. It helps a lot in the YouTube to reach to more people. Thank you. 10 years is all it took for horses to ICE cars. So what about the telephone and traditional media to the internet? See, there are so many examples. And let's go back 200 plus years and how the steam engines changed the world. This was probably one of the biggest technological shifts because no more burden of using animals for transport. See, crossing seas and land has changed. Far distances could be achieved easily. So ARK Invest, they did a white paper on this and I'll show you how to download it. So first you go to ark-invest.com, I'll link it down below. You click Research Center and you click White Papers. I downloaded it from here, Disruptive Innovation, Why Now? So just click on download, you just key in your details, it is free. This paper is very interesting and I'll only spend a few seconds on it. If you are interested, you can go download it. So if you are looking at the technological shift that changed the world, innovation that changed the world, steam engine was one of the highest and the other one was electricity back in 1849. So if you look at this white paper, they have a lot more graph to this and it shows that what really pushed innovation. They have these graphs here so you can go continue reading on it. And here are their estimates on what will really shift and change the world. Let me quote Cathie Wood again. Innovation gains market share at an accelerated rate during tumultuous times. Better, faster, cheaper, and more productive. So how did I discover Cathie Wood? You see, I've been invested long enough not to believe everything I see. People, they present to you what they want you to see and think of them. I've seen so many rise to star fames, and after that I see them fall. Let's take David Einhorn for example. He's like one of the best value investors ever and he is the portfolio manager for Greenlight Capital. David started his fund in 1996 and over the next decade, so he had an annualized return of 26%, far better than Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett had only like 19%. So if you look at his fund, let me remove this first and let's search for Greenlight Capital. Oh my freaking god, look at this. Look at this plunge. This brainless cockster shorting Tesla. See, value investing is dead. So back to my story. When I heard of her, I only knew of her as this crazy fund manager who had the same crazy price target as I have. I mean, she was higher than me. But I kept seeing her appear on CNBC and talking about Tesla. Sometimes I see Tasha Kinney from ARK Invest also appearing on CNBC. Still, I didn't give a crap until they landed a podcast with Elon Musk. Tasha was asking all the right questions, the kind of questions I would ask. It was at that moment I started to dig. I found out that my 3 biggest positions in Tesla, Square, and Illumina are also companies that ARK bought into. So some of you asked me, how did I discover Square? I actually did a video on that, and for you to help you understand my thought process behind it, I'll link it up here and down below. I will still do a more detailed version of that video in the future. I do not know when. Anyway, for Illumina, I explained it in 2 videos already, how I chose Illumina. I'll link it down below too. So let's talk about Warren Buffett's portfolio. So his biggest position is in Apple. Okay, not bad. I give him a pass for that. But banks, oh my god. Coca-Cola, okay lah, boring, safe, will not move much, but over time people are drinking less and less sugar. Good luck. Amex, okay. This one is cheese and tomato ketchup. I give it to him. This one, very hard to disrupt. So if you move downwards, banks again, banks, oh, he is in deep trouble. Davita, oh my god, this company. John Oliver actually did a video on ripping the CEO of Davita. And then after that, investigations went through and they got fined madly. So leadership is very important, and I'll share with you more on that, how I find good leaders later on in the video. And it goes on and on. Visa, okay, they're okay for now, but you know, General Motors, oh my god, you invested in GM, good luck. Okay, Costco is not bad, Amazon is not bad, but it's a small position compared to all this here. The best value investor owns mostly crap companies. Companies with limited or no innovation. The only thing I have learned from Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger, and I'm still applying now, is I invest in companies I can understand, and I can understand deep down. I think they call this circle of competence, COC for short. So Warren Buffett and Charlie, they shared about investing in only 3 to 4 companies because it is like humanly impossible to really understand 10 to 20 over companies that you're invested in. So like Warren Buffett during his younger years where he outperformed, he mainly owned a few companies. I think it was like Gecko, Coke, Amex, IBM. I may be wrong, but it sounds something like this. And Charlie Munger only had 3 in their younger days. So let's take a look at ARK. So this is another website owned by ARK. I'll link it down below. So let's click on the main ETF, which is the Innovation ETF, ARKK. If you scroll downwards, they'll tell you what this whole fund is about. You can download documents here, but I want you to go over here, the top 10 holdings. The biggest holding they have, Tesla. Then we have Square, we have Illumina. So they have a few different kind of companies here, all amazing companies with hell a lot of innovation. So concluding this video, investing in innovation has always been around way before value investing. Way before Benjamin Graham wrote his book in 1949. It is the oldest form of investing and proven over time and time, over the test of time. So a lot of people ask me, how do I learn? I'll tell you something which will piss a lot of people charging you money for investing knowledge. Okay, don't read investing books, okay?
You serious?
Instead, read into businesses and entrepreneurship books. Also read books on leadership. So Simon Sinek is a very good start. When we strip away everything, essentially a great business is a company that changes the world for the better good. A great business needs a great leader and great foresight. You don't get that kind of thing reading investing books. Don't pay for like those dumb ass courses. Don't pay for some magical investing app or software that charges you so much money for shit. In theory, that sounds so good. Apps give you the signal to buy are really lame. So I challenge anybody who owns such apps to prove me wrong. Show me your real portfolio. Instead, take that money, go and buy leadership entrepreneur books and read and apply to the companies you invest in. That is my like 10-20 years of experience in investing lumped into one sentence, and that will save you tons of money both in learning and investing mistakes. Again, appreciate those who help me with the thumbs up. You guys are awesome for helping me grow this channel, and as always, invest safe.